Good evening, folks. It's me, RJB from RJB TV, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're gonna go back to Burgersasu. And his opponent, of course, will be 458, the one player who plays against the Korean Gosu fastest streamers the most out of anyone on Battle.net. 458, the master of the Protoss. I think in the most recent cast with 458, he played against Brain, and he displayed a very good game against Brain, pushing Brain to his actual limits, which doesn't happen that much. And he's here on the yellow Protoss. 458 has evolved over the past 2 years with that huge amount of games he's played against Burgersasu, Minchul, Rabbit, and some of the other very extremely good Gosus on fastest map in 1 vs 1. You could say he's arguably the most well-trained, fastest 1v1 player of all time. I don't think anyone else has played this many games against the likes of Burgersasu and the people who rank above Burgersasu. Now, Burgersasu, you're on the blue Terran. We've said enough about 458. It's time to focus on Burgersasu, our very favorite burger boy on the channel. Well, arguably one of the most favorite players on fastest on this channel and on a couple of other channels. He's very well known at this point, and he always delivers highly entertaining games. Prefers to play random, or well, not random, he prefers to play Terran and Zerg. And his YouTube name is actually Took a Random, which I think, well, he spells it differently. Like, he spelled it like this. I type it out there. He spelled it like this. You can see it on the screen. T-U-K-K-A and then random. But I think, and I assume it means Took Random. That's what I think it means. Maybe it means something in Korean. I don't know. I should ask someone who speaks Korean and knows Korean if that's actually what it means. If it means something else, I'm dying to know. I'd be glad to know. I'd be glad to know if it actually means Took Random. But yeah, he plays a lot of Terran and Zerg against Protoss, because most players on fastest in 1v1 like playing Protoss, so Burgersasu took it upon himself to play Terran and Zerg. And he's really good at Terran and Zerg at this point. He's really a master of Terran and Zerg. He's explosive. He is perhaps a little bit disrespectful. He likes to talk some smack every now and then. He likes talking smack a lot, specifically after he beats someone with Terran or Zerg against Protoss. Because, historically speaking, Protoss is the race that has the best chance of winning out of any race on this game, at least for fastest map. So here we see a little bit of pylon harassment to prevent mining from gas, but I don't think Burgersasu mines too much because he got a bunker there to protect himself from that early Zealot harassment. Because 458 went for double gateway into a nexus, into a third nexus. It's double gateway, double nexus. This is a really interesting build order that I don't really see him do too much. Most of the time we see 458 go for double gateway, one extra nexus, and then gas, cybercore, forge, and a choke. But this time around he's going for triple nexus, so he's gonna focus on an absolutely massive economy. And Burgersasu's actually doing the same, but he went for barrack command center. The Zealots there on the top corner here, in the top, do manage to harass Burgersasu a little bit. I think he lost a total of 2 SCVs, because he's 3 SCVs down on 458. And I think both their command center and nexus finished at about the same time. So yeah, he did lose a little bit, but not too much. This is something he can easily recover from. This is something that's not gonna slow him down too much. And he actually is tricking 458 here by, instead of going for an academy and going for stim, he's going for triple factory, and he stops producing marines completely. This is interesting. This is something I don't think I've seen anyone do so far. Double barracks, command center, double gas, triple factory, and lifting up those barracks right after. Now let's just hope that 458 is not going to walk into the base and see those factories and adjust his game plan. Let's hope for Burgersasu that 458 is going to stay with his current plan and get tricked by whatever Burgersasu is planning on tricking 458 with. So far, I like this adaptation, this switch up from Burgersasu. He's a very, very good mech player. And I'm kind of curious to see how his mech is going to evolve and work out against 458's Plants and Protoss. 458 got double robo there on the way in the front, the third cannon there being added on as well, just for safety precautions. We've got one SCV there, gonna scout the choke, it's gonna sacrifice itself, or it's not gonna sacrifice itself, it's gonna... I'm not sure what it's gonna do, so let's just ignore that SCV for now. I can make all sorts of predictions, but I shouldn't. So yeah, I think 458 at this point knows that something is up because he sees a pretty well walled off choke there with Marines behind it, a double depot and a barrack in the front. And I think 458 at this point assumes it's going to be a factory build order from Burgersasu. So now I'm kind of curious to see what kind of adaptations and changes is 458 going to make. Or is he going to stick to his initial game plan of just advanced technology and a whole lot of drops raining down on Burgersasu's poor SCVs. He's got the Cyber Core there, he's got Dragoon range on the way. I think that is an adaptation. Getting Dragoon range for Dragoons is definitely not something he initially had in mind. He's going for an attack after getting 3 tanks, 3 Vultures. Siege mode is finished up, I think. He's getting Vulture speed and mines as well. He's going for a very early attack. Got double Reaver there on the way for 458. Got a couple of Zetas there already on the map, ready to defend. He's getting He's not getting Dragoons. I thought he would get Dragoons in addition to this, but he's not getting extra Dragoons. Going to unload some of those levels on top of the tanks. Burgersasu is a little bit slow with the response on the Marines and the Vultures. He's very slow on the response, which means he's going to lose his tanks. If the response had been a little bit faster, those tanks would have remained alive and he would have been able to push through that choke much easier. Well, he's still going to push through, but he's going to take some shots from the cannon. The Reaver in the back finishes up. Picks up one Reaver. Reaver number 2 there, still on the ground. Mines explode, mostly killing 1 Vulture and 2 Zealots. Reaver there getting microed very expertly. Gets an absolutely insane Scarab shot there on every single Marine. And every single Marine going down definitely makes the defense much easier for 458 here. And Burgersasu, I don't think I've ever seen anyone defend a push like that this easily. This is perfect. This goes to show that 458 really has a lot of experience against Terrans doing these kinds of pushes, because he's handling this absolutely perfectly. Taking down as much as he can with as little as he can while keeping up the production with his gateways. He went for 7 gateways in total. Got 3 Reavers now. Ooh, 1 Scarab exposed on some Zealots. The tank there in the front trying to get as much done as it can. He's still sending over units though. This seems very risky play here from Burgersasu. Now 458 does need an observer though, because there are some mines in his base and the mines do keep killing his Dark Templars. Dark Templars are actually a pretty good response to whatever Burgersasu was doing. He's got no detection there in the front. Does he have scans in the back? Yes he does. He already also knows Dark Templars are on the way, because he saw a mine explode on nothing, which means it's a Dark Templar that triggered the mine. Going to break through the front there. Gonna have to use his scans. He's got a double scan there in the back. Cells both going down, scans on the Dark Templar. The Templar gonna get mowed down, melted. Turret there being built in the front, got turret on the bottom corner. Got a shuttle there flying over the bottom corner. It's gonna try to hit those minerals. There's 2 Reavers inside, both on low HP. The shuttle itself on full HP. There's extended division with the engineering base, so the shuttle's gonna take quite some damage. Got a shuttle number 2 and 3, and maybe even number 4. Let me see how many shuttles that is. That's only 2 actually. And 1 is empty, and 1 is 2 Reavers. So it's going to be a 4 Reaver drop, I assume, with triple shuttle. Getting new cannons in the front, getting a robo number... That's a pylon, not a robotics. I thought it was a robotics, it is a pylon. I was wrong. 73 probes already. His triple next full order is working out perfectly fine. Barracks are moving, and actually spots out 2 shuttles, changing location. Not sure if Burgersasu saw that, but it might give him the required information to move his Goliaths into a more favorable position to snipe those shuttles out of the air. Although at the moment, it's going to be pretty difficult, because he's going to fly in probably over the exact top layer. He scans, double scans. Does not see the shuttles. He sees the shuttles. Okay, the scan timer extend it just long enough. So he relocates Goliath, starts sniping those shuttles out of the air, but Triple Reaver and Zeldas all unload. Now the Reavers and Zeldas are doing some real damage there. The tanks are defending the Reavers though. The tanks are hitting the Reavers pretty hard, but they do kill the entire, well, not the entire corner, but all the units over here in the corner have all gone down. So Burgersasu does take some losses. Another drop there coming over the bottom side over a wide open spot, flies straight into the Goliath, starts unloading. Burgersasu pulls his SCVs to safety. Storm's coming down. Triple Storm. It's a really big amount, and even loses some SCVs to splash damage. So yeah, went down from about 55 down to 32. That was a pretty painful hit. And Burgersasu is now in some trouble because he's going to have to recover from that one. Pulling most of his SCVs off the gas, putting them back on the minerals to boost up his economy a little bit. His gas income will be kind of shite for a little while. Another drop there already over the bottom side of his base, ready to enter over the exact same spot. This is just a perfect spot. No turrets here, just a barrack on the side. Although he turns back home, changes direction, and changes direction yet again. He's going to go for this hole anyway, because the hole is the goal. And if there's any hole, you go for it. Although, he's not going for the hole. He's going for a pretty well fortified combination of double turret there on the bottom left of his base. Got Corsairs coming in there though, so the turret's no longer much of a concern. Corsair on the right side taking down that barrack, reducing the amount of vision he has on the map. While here back in his own base, he's getting carriers. 458 absolutely loves going for drops into carriers. And it's really strong. He's really good at it. But Burgersasu here is going to try to... Oh, he's unloading in the bottom corner and sending those shuttles back home with his shift command. The SCVs are safe, but units are not safe. Zeldas are moving forward, Temples are storming on the tank and Goliaths. Units are going down from both players, but I think that this situation is slightly more favorable for 458 than for Burgersasu. Took down 2 turrets on the bottom corner, and now drop number 2 to follow up on that first drop comes right in over the exact same spot, but Burgersasu spots it out, and he tries to snipe the shuttles and takes them all down. Templars do unload, storming on the Alliance, but dodges the storm quite well, but now the supply lead for 458 is growing because units for Burgersasu are going down. But at least he's back on 55 SCVs. Didn't lose a single SCV during those 2 drops. 458 with a really well attempted double hit. Double drop, but Burgersasu wasn't born yesterday. He has experienced the double drop so many times, he knows it is most likely coming, specifically with a player like 458. He probably knows 458 is going to try to do a double drop at some point, or at least a couple of times. So he's always or usually pretty well prepared for that one. So 88 probes there for 458. He's rich, he's growing, and he's got carriers on the way. His upgrades are also in pretty good shape. He's got everything rolling as planned. He's getting shield first. He's ignoring the weapon and armor upgrades for his ground units. He just wants to get air upgrades. He's getting air attack and air armor level 1 at the same time. Comes in there over the middle of Burgersasu's base, starts unloading on top of pretty much everything he can as he flies right in. Storms on the wrong spot because his Templars are too far away to storm on the SCVs. A little bit of an unlucky unload, but also a very good SCV pool there from Burgersasu. And now Burgersasu feels he's rich enough with his 63 SCVs and goes into the middle of the map to start pushing on 458 while 458 is building carriers. Might be a little bit too greedy, but that is 458 against Burgersasu. These players are greedy. Burgersasu is the personification of greedy. He is not going to wait and sit around. He's going to push as soon as he can. And considering he's got, well, that's 12 factories, his economy is in pretty good shape. Not the best shape, but it's recovered quite well. He just starts pushing to make sure he gains as much ground all across the map before the carriers come out and start the attack. He just wants to gain as much ground as possible to make the attacks from 458 a little bit less secure. Because if there's no cannons on the middle, it means 458 has to be a little bit more careful with how he uses his carriers. Because if all of his carriers go down and there are cannons on the middle, he's got a little bit of a safety measure to fall back on. And that is, Burgersasu would have to push through all those cannons across the middle of the map, and that takes time. And during that time frame, 458 would be able to build new carriers. But now that all the cannons on the middle are gone, it's going to be very difficult for 458 to be hyper-aggressive. because carriers going down means he has nothing left at home to defend. Burgersasu not putting his SCVs pools at the very last possible moment, loses only a few SCVs. I think it was about 6 or 10, somewhere in between most likely. So pretty well defended, tried to snipe the shuttles, couldn't snipe them before they arrived, but at least he pulled the SCVs to safety, at least he saved the economy at the most crucial timing possible, because now carriers are coming in. His tanks there though are getting caught off guard. He's trying to kill these cannons here on the 12 o'clock spawn, but the carriers coming in from the left, right, this is the right, coming from the right, to try and stop that, but 458 being a little bit hesitant with going all in, because there's some Goliaths mixed in, and more Goliaths are being thrown into the mix, and EMP comes down on the carriers, which means no shields, and I don't see any shield batteries on the map, but this, ooh, yeah, this is some really good play from Burgersasu. But 458, oh, he's max ranging, he's using max range carrier micro there. I mean, he's used carriers so much, his carrier micro is honestly pretty good. It's pretty good. He's got pretty good carrier control. Burgersasu ain't no slouch himself. He's got expert Goliath tank control, macro, combination package of everything you want in a player. Both these players got it all, and it's looking pretty fine. It's looking pretty nice. There's a drop there coming out over the bottom left there though, so Burgersasu might have to pay attention to the map as he's focused very hard on those carriers, though. There the drop there finds a way in over the front side. He's though flying over the Goliaths. Goliaths sniping the shuttles out of the air. No Templars unloaded, only Zealots. Carriers are on the top right corner, trying to break through. They are breaking through, killing the turrets, but he has to play it safe. Focus, oh, takes down one carrier. I think he lost 2 carriers so far in total. It's mostly been focused on taking down his interceptors. Because when the, okay, he took down 3 carriers in total. Better than I expected. Yeah, when the carriers are on the high ground, it's kind of difficult to target fire them. You gotta keep using scans or have something floating in the air to spot the carriers. Still wants to take out all those cannons on the side or prevent the construction of new cannons, because cannons are a great protection for carriers to retreat to. So Burgersasu is going to try to difficult words, try to clear them all out. With 458 there, ready to protect. Ooh, really solid play for Burgersasu. Target firing as best as he can. A drop there coming out as well. There's a couple Goliaths here back at home though. Burgersasu is playing aggressive. I like this so much. This is a very different Burgersasu that I'm used to when it comes to Terran. He's not really building a base anymore. He's just focusing on producing and microing all the time. He hasn't even finished all of his refineries because he doesn't need all the refineries when he's making so much cheap Goliaths. Goliaths only cost 50 gas, 100 minerals. They're kind of cheap to produce, and they're highly effective against carriers. Most of the carriers have been taken down. A couple more have spawned. They're back at home. A couple more in production. He's got 9 Stargates in total. It's 9 carriers per round. His upgrades at the moment, though. Let me just check the upgrades. 2-2. That's pretty good. 2-2 for the Goliaths as well there, though. So both players evenly matched on the upgrades. And I think that the upgrades for a Terran are just slightly stronger than for a Protoss. So Goliaths once again coming out there to kill this small little cannon stronghold, this foothold that 458 has had so far this map, but he's forced to retreat a little bit because the Goliaths keep turning on the carriers. Gonna try to snipe the Goliaths as best as he can, doing a pretty good job at that as well. A drop there on the bottom left of Burgersasu's base, ready to fly in and strike on the economy. Burgersasu just really is not planning on getting any more defense. He's playing this on the smallest amount of defenses he possibly can, as if he's running away, relying on the pro pool. The SV pool successfully does so. Templar storms, but Templar misses most of the SV's kills, about 2 or 3, maybe 4. Not a devastating hit. But now, most of the Goliaths are out of town, which means 458 goes straight for the main command center. He realized that there were not that many Goliaths back at home, so he goes for the command center, which is getting taken down pretty damn fast. He's trying to repair it, but it gets taken down. Now the carriers, though, are taking heavy fire from the Goliaths. Carriers are gonna die, which means we got a small little time window for Burgersasu to go on a counter-attack, although those carriers just won't die. It's taking so long that they've taken most of the Goliaths with them. 458 found the perfect, absolute perfect opportunity to go kill the command center. And there's a drop coming in to follow up on that hit on the command center as well. It's going to try to do a double tap, carrier strike on the command center, and a drop to follow it up right after. Cannons on the middle there being built though. Going to try to push through these cannons before too many of the cannons are there to slow them down. But there comes a drop. Nothing here in the back. How much is inside those shuttles? Starts to unload the Zealots and the Templars. Splash that. It's only Zealots. It's all Zealots, and they're killing the tanks. Defense are predicted on the tanks. The Goliath's being pulled back. He's also pushing through the map here on the middle. Killed the cannons are on the middle. Now pushing through the choke. Well, here back at home, Zealots are being annoying. Killed about 8 or so SCVs, but the Zealots are going down. Burgersasu is pushing through. A lot of cannons are in the choke. Gonna have to wait for the tanks to kill those cannons. 458 is rebuilding his carrier army, but it's gonna take a long time before all those carriers are finished up. This is what I meant. 458 played it very risky. He took a very big risk. He managed to land a really hard-hitting blow on Burgersasu, but Burgersasu now has the opportunity to strike back. He has the opportunity to strike back, and he's doing so with full force. He's not relenting. Drop there comes in though, once again. Not much here in the back to defend. Burgersasu not paying attention, focused on the carrier stuff. There's nothing inside. Lucky Burgersasu. Nothing inside the drop. Nothing to worry about. 458 is in trouble, and Burgersasu is blasting through space at the speed of sound and ready to break down the front door. Oh, never mind, the front door has already been taken down. Storms on the Goliaths, dodging the storms. Reavers, Scarabs hitting hard. Carriers still in production. There's a lot of carriers in production, but they still have to build more interceptors once they spawn, which means Burgersasu has some really good time here. Got quite a lot of time to push through as far as he possibly can and hopefully reach the Nexus and kill the probes with a tank shot. But the Reavers though are buying him so much time because Goliaths keep walking too far forward and they keep getting taken down by the Reavers. The Reavers in the back there have done a great job in slowing Burgersasu down. Burgersasu pulling SCVs from the base to start pulling turrets inside of 458's base. Tanks are setting up shop there right next to the Robos. The Robos are going to go down pretty soon. The carriers have mostly all spawned. I think he's got about 7 or 8 here in total in the back. 7 it is. 7 more on the way. He's going to have 14. He's now also finally getting ground upgrades because at this point you might need some ground units. Burgersasu is ready and he's bringing the pain right to 458. 458 there. Dancing on the sides, trying to kill as many Goliaths from a safe distance as he possibly can. There's Zealots, Templars, and Dark Templars mixed in. But there's so many Goliaths and tanks, he's not really gonna put a dent into that advancing army that is so well set up. There's turrets, Goliaths, interceptors are absolutely terrible against this combination from Burgersasu. Both players came out swinging at full force, but a counter punch from Burgersasu seems to have done the trick. He hit the left side of 458's rope mineral stack. Still has 50 alive though, has 7,000 minerals, but what he needs is a bigger army. He's got 144 supply against an almost maxed out Burgersasu. Burgersasu is pretty much no money at all anymore. He's got 53 SVs on the minerals and the gas. His gas is running low, his production is pretty much non-stop. He's spending everything he's got. The other side of 458's probes also got killed. 105 supply. 458 is getting pushed off the cliff, and at any point now he's gonna fall off and call a GG. Burgersasu with an absolutely beautiful push. This is really absolute top level. He didn't bother hurdling for any longer than he had to. He just knew that I gotta go now, and I gotta go hard. And boy did Burgersasu go hard. Just been a non-stop fight since 12 or 13 minutes. It was a back and forth. 458 pushed Burgersasu back a couple times, and Burgersasu successfully punished 458 for overreaching on that command center. The attack on the command center was really good, but the follow-up drops had to really do some really big damage on those SUVs to kill Burgersasu's economy and prevent Burgersasu from producing this army. But the follow-up drop after the carriers sneak through, fly in, straight for the command center, after that happened, the follow-up drop just simply didn't do enough. It pretty much did nothing at all. It annoyed Burgersasu, it harassed him a little bit, it tickled him. But Burgersasu did not let it stand in his way, and he just pushed through all the way and ended 458 here, right at 24 minutes and 34 seconds into the game. But that's it for today. We're going back to shorter videos, and this was the very first game between 458 and Burgersasu. I think there's a couple more games left to go. This is the best of 5, best of 7, maybe best of 9, not sure. I mean, there's a certain amount of games, and based on those amount of games that I've seen in the list of games I've got, I'm not sure if it's a best of 5, a 3, or a best of 7. It could be anything of those, because I don't know who's gonna win which game and how many wins they're gonna get. So I'm just gonna play it safe and say this is the best of something between 458 and Burgersasu. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope to see you return for the next game that should be coming out sometime soon.